works. I should be live. There you go. I'm live on YouTube. So this is the first time I'm doing 3 platforms at one time. I'm live on Facebook, live on Periscope, and now live on YouTube. Welcome everybody to all 3 platforms. Today is May 2nd, 2020, and we are going to go to China. And we got some good ones today. I'll tell you that. Now, for those of you who, what's up, New York? What part of New York? Those of you that are just joining me for the first time, you might know, or you wouldn't know, that the other day my internet got shut down for a bit. It could be a coincidence because I am reporting about Chinese news. You know, it is what it is. Well, I'm using, basically is what I'm doing. So I've got a VPN on, then I'm using a different browser with another VPN. Hopefully, nobody shuts me down. Hey, YouTube, I see that I got someone on there. All right, so I watched the last few, love it, thanks. This is going to be basically a new channel. Sorry, guys, I know you guys are. And of course, on Periscope, where it all began. So here today, some personal opinions, commentary, and whatnot. And so the first thing up today is, I think it was, China released a news article saying that they were insulting the U.S. for taking this moment in time to, because of the pandemic, the U.S. should stay out of the South China Sea and stick to taking care of its country. And I am a conservative, so a lot of it's coming from. So I understand that from China. Now, South China Sea, as far as China's standpoint, let me turn off the fan because it's a little bit less now. So this is a continuation from the article. The U.S. guided missile waters off the Sisha Island. What's up? On Tuesday without being approved. So China, when it comes to going to the South China Sea. All right. So for those of you in China after World War II, from the all right, Southern Theater Command Li Huaming said that this is a severe violation of international law and Chinese sovereignty. Again, most of the Chinese territory was more areas government in the South China Sea. They've said, oh, you can't be here. They said, oh, you better leave. But they've never been expelled. The Americans, screw you. First day of the Chinese Lunar New Year, the U.S. military has been escalating its provocation in the South China Sea. Yet, the move will bring no benefit to the U.S. while only wasting our money. We're wasting our time. And it doesn't to show that we're not going to stand by while you just take territory. Then it is helping because we're going where we want to go. Does that mean that I don't see ever escalating to an all-out war? Never. I don't see it. So, hey, what's up, guys? The streams, make sure you find anyone that has on Facebook, you can. All right. Relatively quite harsh against the backdrop of the raging coronavirus pandemic across the world, with the U.S. being actions and the highest death toll. Now, you know the truth. You know what's going on. Pretty much everyone here does. We all understand the reality of where the infections are, and where a huge amount of deaths are. There, now officially no, but unofficially, pretty much everyone here knows it. Where is it? I just lost my place. Sorry, guys. U.S. Naval Administration to halt overseas travel to U.S. troops for 60 days in the wake of the coronavirus. That's not travel. That's military action. What's up, SKA? What are you? Yeah, the provocation South China Sea still occur. It's discarding the lives of you. Discard soldiers' lives. This is just a very common thing. See something that China's saying that is a legitimate statement, like I did yesterday, and I give you guys the reasons for that. I will back China, but in case it ends with China has the country's sovereignty. If the U.S. has to try it, go ahead. So they're like, all right, screw you guys. If America does not want an actual physical confrontation with the U.S. war, and the attack on Pearl Harbor, which wasn't technically part of the U.S. at the time, we've never really had to devastate the economy, the nation as a whole. To be frank, we need enough troops to the U.S. to our land. I mean, it would have to be missiles and whatnot. In the U.S., we have a lot of troops here. We have what? We have an entire division in Korea. We have a lot. We have Guam. We have Hawaii. All. Shut up. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. The next headline up today. I actually I saw some of this stuff coming out about. So this is what we. So I'm going to give you the question because this one's a very long article. I don't want you guys to get too bored. So I'm going to read. Much appreciated. Feel free to heart, like, and subscribe. All right. The coronavirus situation in the U.S. Is deteriorating rapidly. Now, we all know if you're in the U.S., it's deteriorating rapidly. Now, we all know if you're in the U.S., the statistics, it's actually getting better. It's not deteriorating. With the country action surpassing 1 million on Tuesday, and death tolls 2,000 million morning, so which has a huge. I'll read your comment in a second. In New York, how many million? In LA, not that many. And our total deaths nationwide is around 63,000. That could be if you died from the virus in the U.S. As long as China, we know the numbers weren't reported accurately, and no one I know has or any followers here in China on my Chinese social media platform in total, none of them have come back and have they had any symptoms. That's COVID. All right. Of course, in Wuhan, we're much, much higher than 60,000, even though it wasn't reported that way. So this is one of the things I really have a problem with. Of course, the U.S. is bullshitting in some ways, but China is truly bullshitting in others. Because no one will wear a mask and we all think it's a hoax. All right, first of all, okay, my mask is over there. My daughter's mask is over here. To wearing masks. It's part of the culture in China. Cloths across their face and all that. Social distancing does help. Why is it a huge issue in the States? It's not. In the places that are heavily hit, like New York and LA, people are social distancing. People are in lockdown. From some places, I got to admit, they're not wearing masks. Thank you for that like, guys. They're not wearing masks, and I agree. However, people are very intelligent. And they're intelligent. We don't want to get sick. We've all been in those situations, right? We know that, okay, people are getting sick out there. We're going to avoid them. Are there some ignorant people that believe it's a hoax? Yep. By the way, if you're typing in Chinese, Yang, thank you very much for that. But please type in English so that most of my subscribers understand what you're saying. They're full of crap. But a majority of people don't believe it's a hoax. They actually have an intelligence. Thank you very much, Yang. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the only reason I asked. First, when and where did the novel coronavirus break out in the U.S.? We actually all know it's in Washington State is the first reported outbreak. However, there is evidence now actually in the states before that, long before that. Reportedly that a died from COVID-19 on February 6th. About 3 weeks earlier than what was originally thought to be the. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Some of this stuff is sometimes Chinglish. It's like Chinese English, so it might be a little bit hard. Let me try. Second, where did the main cases from the U.S. come from? Interesting perspective of China. So Governor Andrew Cuomo recently said that the coronavirus did not come from China, but Europe. That doesn't really make sense to me because a lot of the original infections I've seen reports on came from Chinatown. But sure. So I could definitely be wrong. Italy, he said, is coming out of China. These are the headlines coming out of here. So after that, the U.S. soon issued a travel ban to all people coming from China, yet the country to the U.S. from Europe. That's true. However, we do believe at least the things along before properly. That the U.S. was the country of origin for most of the novel area personally is very high from China. And the lockdown didn't occur there until later. Also, whether the viruses came from Europe or not, where did it originate all from? Why did it end up in Europe? We all know the started in Wuhan or in China. Either way, for months, of course I understand. Keeping people quiet for a long time. All this stuff is going on, right? They're completely ignoring that the virus is spreading around the world already, and nobody knew about it. There could have been people that died of the flu. That they're ignoring that fact, but we didn't know that it was COVID-19 because people weren't being tested for it yet. So China was down already, right? We weren't allowed to import from China. We weren't sending people to China. If Europe was sending infections, but if that's true, then how is the U.S. spreading it to most of the world? Why are most cases coming out of the U.S.? That doesn't, and China is locked out, and most of Asia is locked out. Then third, why did the U.S. shut down the Army laboratory at Fort Detrick that studied deadly infectious materials? Reports show that the U.S. main biological has been ordered to stop all research into certain biological agents, and toxin has. This goes to the whole island. Shortly before the lab was shut down, a large number of people within nearby county. Usually, it doesn't have any. Again, anyone watching on YouTube, please feel free to today. As of August 27th, 2019, 250 possible cases. Sound like CNN? Yeah, I know, right? It's funny. Products had been reported to the CDC. Again, I'm reading this for the first time with you guys. I don't know why they would say that, because electronic cigarettes are almost completely produced here. I don't think they thought that one through. All right, all patients described in these reports. All right, ground glass, X-rays, and most of the stuff's made in China. Why are you reporting on this? Just sorry, Chinese people are from New York. Of lung injury from 46 states and one territory. Do they believe coronavirus was actually developed from glass inside? There's no connection there. And also, again, the e-cigarettes are mostly produced in China. It's hard to detect a new virus. Ask about the COVID-19 virus. Is the risk of, as the military has many biological laboratories in Southeast Asia and countries including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, sorry if I'm screwing that one, Uzbekistan reported that there are 16 biological laboratories set up by the U.S. According to a spokesman, set up biological laboratories with dual role in a third country on the pre-tell terrorists. The develop and reorganize various dangerous diseases, pathogens for military purposes, and to strengthen its influence. Wow. First, they're completely ignoring the fact that they're saying, well, there's biological centers over there, far away from weapons. Wow. That is, alrighty then. You know what that reminds me of? Or I wet the bed, or what? But it's still her fault. She did it. The military games, and yeah, they're trying to blame it on that. That's the thing, and exercise. What? I don't know what you're saying, Law. You see the European country they did. I heard you. So you're hearing Ukraine started the virus? Blame game. It's from the Wuhan. You know what? In the end, here's the thing. All right. The fact is, in the end, who gives a shit? The virus is out. We just got to come back and get over it. We can all play the China who that were never actually prosecuted. There were some, but most of them weren't. Never my responsibility. It's always the other guys. I mean, of making. That's what I gotta admit. Throwing the blame somewhere else. Okay. So that was that one. Now, yesterday I talked about a article China was talking about where the U.S. did a speech, and we're talking about this high school girl that went on a field trip, got the disease, got the coronavirus, went back to her hometown, was pissed because it put a black mark on. The local police were trying to have her take down her posts and everything else, and very ironic coming out of China. Remember Dr. Lee, the guy that was silenced? And died of a COVID-19 and plenty of others. Yeah, that's kind of ironic they're saying that. What did you say, Brian? Agreed, but this is going to answer. Absolutely, but there won't be any. In fact, there are some cities that, as of yesterday, started reopening. Now, right now we're in May holiday, which is Labor Day, or our Labor Week, 5-day holiday here in China, which is funny because we've pretty much been on a holiday for. Things are still closed, movie theaters are closed, and almost 100% of all education centers and organizations and stuff are still closed. And what was the last question? Devil mixes truth with lies. Everyone's got a little bit of devil in them, buddy. Everyone. All right. So anyways, China just continuing the escalation, talking about how America is violating human rights. America that literally has a law that protects like the original. Yeah, it's just the original. Check me out. Time. Alrighty. If you're on Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube, please hit the like button, share these videos with who you've got. I want to go big in the West and show all this information. I'm also going to be making some really cool YouTube videos coming up, all about life. 24 years now, so I've got a lot of stuff to teach everyone back home about China, about life, about trials and tribulations I've gone through. I'm a single father here. I'm sure you, Chief and Pelosi. We would like to see more profile here per week. China shows the world the right way for pandemic response. This is going to be fun, I'm sure. All right. The Chinese government's decision to impose lockdown in Wuhan was decisive, and China should be thanked. Already, I've got an issue with this. All right. Chinese government's decision to it was not was decisive. No problem. No problem to you. But no, it was not decisive. Again, for months, as the virus started to did not lock down Wuhan immediately. In fact, Lunar New Year, that it actually got shut down until millions of people left Wuhan. It did not get locked down, which is the biggest reason why the virus spread like it did. Millions of people in Wuhan that got infected spread it around China and the world. Anyways, the second pandemic, which would destabilize the joint antivirus efforts. Richard Horton, editor-in-chief, interview with China Central Television on it. So I am curious, but I will take a look to see what he actually said. And I wouldn't disagree with him. But now listen to the campaign, conspiracy theories. But they're not saying that he said that what is being said about China is disinformation or conspiracy theories. All right, you are very informative. It's back in October late. It's but this is the thing. We'll never know. We will never know when the first cases were. We will never know when the first cases were, where patient zero came from or anything. Right? We'll never know it because for those hearts, by the way, I just saw them. May 1st marked 100 days since Wuhan announced days. Do the math. That's just in Wuhan back in last year. 19 stands. So you just keep reading at it in January, and I'm in 1 week, basically covering me with a blanket during the day and night. She brought those. I out to evaluate and showed, again, these are not Wuhan showed that the government acted tremendously and by taking the origins scientifically and allow theories to and are important to understand and not allow right that actually supports what they're saying here in China. They're just taking little theories. I gotta admit it, they are like alien. I actually heard this conspiracy coming out of China in the early days that they believed aliens gave us this. They were looking for anyone to blame but China. Some of the disinformation is dangerous and is a pandemic caused by the media, he noted. All right. Please make sure. I would love to share this knowledge with everyone. And of course, on Periscope, hit me some super likes, super hearts, whatever. All right. Alleged or groundless in Hong Kong. What I'm loving is that China, yet they're arresting protesters, and they're saying America's accusations are groundless. Wow. Seriously, AC, all those super hearts, thank you. Seriously, thank you. That is so kind of you. I can't really say that enough. I'm not doing this for profit or anything else. I'm doing this to give you guys information. When I see stuff like that, seriously, that makes me feel amazing. Thank you. All right. Allegation by itself is its own word. And participants were groundless and serious interference in Hong Kong. Spokesman HKSAR government said Friday. Hong Kong something or other. I don't know what it stands for. Welcome VSUAFF90 for the on Periscope. The spokesperson, they're very woke, expressed such irresponsible and deplorable remarks. Hear that? Wait. Wow, those super hearts. Thank you. They keep coming. It's a joke how we've handled COVID here. I was in there, I left, to shut down the country. I'll talk about that in a second if you want. All right, on their comments on the recent arrest and prosecution of some organizations and persons, I agree. But I got to have the same rights, rules, laws as we do in the States, or as that you do in the UK or in Europe, or wherever you're at, China or anywhere else, from their perspective. People in China's sovereign laws, right?